So next up we have Googl here. So I do really like Googl as well. I think they're a good company to buy. I think they're actually not as overpriced, if I remember correctly, as far as PE ratio and stuff. Last week, very bullish. This week, a little bit of a pullback, but you can see, super healthy. So yeah, Googl looks like it's going to continue up for sure. You look at last month, bullish engulfing. There was this area here actually that it completely annihilated. So, that tells me that it's super bullish and it wants to keep going up, and there's not really an end in sight. We can mark up this zone here. It's about 150 bucks. It's kind of the all-time high for Googl. Now we'll just see on a monthly aspect. It usually moves about, I would say, $20. Last month was 18. The month before was 12. The month before that was 22. So, maybe $15 is pretty reasonable actually. On the safer side, it did gap pretty hard here, so this might actually pull back down and kind of close this gap. Don't know much about that yet. We'll have to just see, but I want to figure out my monthly parameters. So if it moves about 15 bucks and our low for the month is, as of right now, we'll say 128. We don't know if this will stay this way, but for right now, we'll mark it out. That's kind of too high still. Maybe we'll just put 125 to be. Oh, that's way low. Man, the stock. Okay, so I don't want to be way out, but I don't want to be within the range here. Okay, so we'll say 127 is our low for the month. And then we're looking at a $15 range. So you're looking at 142 for the high. And I do think price could definitely hit this high. So, and then ideally for the end of the year, you're looking at between 148 and 152, and that is the previous highs for Googl. So I think that's definitely within reason. I think $15 this month, $10 to $15 up this month, it's definitely possible. I'm looking for, we'll mark it down for September. This is kind of our move for the month of August. And then going into September, hopefully we're up here and we can look for, prices into this area. But like I said, this might fill this gap. Don't really know yet. There is some support here for sure. So I would actually wait for price to come back down to buy Googl. I would wait for price to come back down to, between 128, 127, kind of in this zone here, and then look for a long position. I do think that it's obviously going to go up on the month dramatically, but based on today's candle, and then yesterday's candle, and basically all week, honestly, there's some bull candles, but there's quite a bit of wickage, right? So, this wick is bigger than this candle. Same with this one. You did have this gapped candle, and then it was bearish. So you got these wicks up here. So there's a previous resistance zone up here at the top here that would have to break. So I do think that Googl's got to come down to about 128 before it's even considered a good buy. And then I think for the month though, I think 142 is very reasonable for it to hit. I think it's got a ton of momentum, and it's way above this moving average on the daily, way above on the 4 hour as well. It might actually find this 1 hour moving average once price comes back down to here, about the 127 area, 128. This moving average might catch up and function as support and take it right back up to, towards this zone, and then to the next zone, which is about 142, which is the monthly range. You can even see everything else lines up as well, which is really nice. I love when, this is why I like technicals and not fundamentals as much, because fundamentals can be misleading, and that's why people that trade news, or they really rely on the news to dictate trading. I understand why they do. I just personally don't, because to me it just doesn't work as often. Whereas like technicals are technicals. Like I can see this is an area of resistance. I can see that this is a supply zone for bears. Like they've done it previously, they'll probably do it again. I don't really care about Google's earnings as much, because I care about the overall technicals of the charts and what price has done previously. Whether the earnings are good or bad, Google can still be bought up. It doesn't really matter. Like Google is very, all these tech stocks are very overpriced right now, with PE ratios of over 30, and anything over 15 is considered overpriced, historically. So these these asset classes are already overpriced. So the idea of like you're being concerned about earnings, being good or bad, like I get why. And sometimes there's more momentum when earnings come out and stuff like that. So I get that part as far as volatility and volume itself. So I do get that aspect, but for me it's all technicals. So having this zone up here and having this being a monthly target, having this be within its normal range, it's ATR, its average true range is about $15 a month right now. So if 127 is the low, if it moves $15 up, that's a $15 range, and that puts us at 142, which puts us right in this area. It's with the trend. You can see this week was a little bit of a pullback, but not much, especially compared to last week. So I mean, these are all healthy technicals to go off of and base a trade on, for Googl. So yeah, that's Googl. It's the number two AI stock for 2023 according to Forbes. And yeah, I like it. I think it's a great buy, especially at 127. I would just wait for it to come down to that and then look for a good entry point and take it.